All right. Looks like I'm recording here. Check it out. I bought a depreciating asset they like to call a microphone. I've been waiting a long time to make this video. Since January 1st, 2020. And this is going to be unlisted. And I'm sending this out to ETH Finance. A lot has happened in the course of my journey over the last 5 years. And I thought it would be a good time to go ahead and share some things heart to heart next to my fire pit. And it's gonna be a journey. Some of you were wondering if I was still around. A lot of people come back because it looks like the bottom is in, and we've had a couple of thousand comment days now, almost 2,000 comments a couple days ago whenever we had a big pop. And I got to explain to you a few things about how I missed the top and how I sold the bottom and why. And I think that now's as good a time as any. With any luck, I'll get this propane torch light. It's froze up. Oh, do you hear that? That's like NCO216HO4, some kind of elements. But before I run a live propane torch, I'm gonna go ahead and crack a beer. This one's for you guys. And man, it is cold. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl. How about it? 50 years. 50 years. What an incredible story. It's surreal how all these things lined up. There you go, Broncos fans. Little Golden, Colorado for you. Hello to all the newcomers, the veterans. My name is Jeremiah Nickel, aka JT Nickel on Reddit, at ProDJKC on Twitter. I'm going to start off with the ugly. In the minds of most of you who have endured the last couple of years of this incredible bear market, I sold the bottom. Now, it's not what you think. You might be thinking I capitulated. No, I've had a lot of goals, and I have them set in stone, and one of them was January 1st, 2020, no matter what. Why would I do that? Why would I set some arbitrary time and space for that? I want to take you back to 2014 for a second. We were made aware, and I don't make a lot of money, so I got to preface this. I live in a small house. I'm a public school educator, and we send our kids to private school. So I don't make a lot of money. I DJ, I hustle, I work my butt off day in, day out. It's what I do. And in 2014, we were notified by our homeowner's insurance that we needed a new roof because some adjuster came out, took an assessment on the property, and reported the fact that we had 4 layers of shingles. I had no savings, no emergency fund, no way to have it when you got a ton of kids. I mean, I'm in the same boat as so many people. You know, we have our health, but even then, with doctor's visits with kids all the time, we just didn't have that money. So we had to take out a second mortgage. And I didn't tell my wife. I took some of that money and I put it into Bitcoin when Bitcoin was in the bottom of its bear market during that time. So it was under $1,000 a coin. It was after it was dropping off at its all-time high. And I bought a few, and I was just kind of hoping that it might end up being something special. I didn't tell my wife. It's the only lie that of financial significance and really of any significance that I kept from her. Because I studied it and I loved it and I knew, and to be honest, I have never invested in anything before, ever. And Bitcoin just, in 2014, it just made sense to me. Then I watched a documentary called The Rise and Rise of Bitcoin. And I saw Vitalik Buterin on there. And fast forward to 2015, actually the token sale for Ethereum was in 2014. I missed it. I wasn't at a place in my life to worry about it too much, but I was watching and trying to absorb what I could. And in 2015, I sold all of my Bitcoin into Ethereum. This was after the ICO sale. And I say all of my Bitcoin. Let's not kid ourselves. It's not like $3,000 was going to buy a bunch of it. I got burned by anonymous coins. There were so many shit coins that were around. And I worked for them and I wanted to promote, and then I got burned. And so, I was like, no more anonymous projects, and let's just focus on Ethereum. I jumped in head first. I was probably one of the first 500 people on ETH Trader at that time. Evan Van Ness, Mr. Yukon C, a whole host of incredible OGs were in there. Looking back on it now, it's just incredible that I got to see some of this early movement, and I just jumped in with both of my feet head first. I never, after the DAO, it was the only time I ever used a credit card for crypto, and after it had dumped, it was in a November of whatever 2016 or whatever year it was when it went below $10. I spent some money on a credit card, and that was the only time that I did it. And so time moves on. I think around $700, I went ahead and took some out, and I paid some bills around the house, very meaningful things. And, things are pretty good with that. But then it was in 2018 in August, I got hacked. I didn't have my stack on an exchange. I just had a trading stack there. And I'm not really a trader. I don't margin. I don't mess with any of that stuff. And I got hacked. And it just kind of woke me up like, man, I'm putting myself out there in public. I'm making these videos by this fire pit, and is this a good idea? Even my own family said, you got to be careful with that. Well, they're not wrong. And then I started shoring things up and really kind of getting more aggressive with two-factor, but I'm kind of a plebe. I don't know the best two-factor. And then boom, my phone got compromised in November of 2018. And that's when these hackers really did some damage to me psychologically. They took over 3 different email accounts. They circumvented all kinds of two-factor authentication because they could always answer the email. I was being locked out. I'm running around to AT&T trying to fix things the night it happened. Thank God they were still available and open. I was able to get my phone back in my hands, but the damage had already been done. So I got hammered a second time. And what that does to you is it makes you feel helpless. I took everything I had. I figured out all the loops of the best encryption out there, and the ways to protect yourself, and still forged on Reddit. I've always got a smile. I still do. Like, this community is just incredible. But because I was hacked, I wasn't sure who was still in the wings waiting for me to move any coins. And I froze. And I froze, and I froze, and I froze through the all-time high, all the way down through easy peasy. All I could do is start dollar cost averaging once we dip below easy peasy. I mean, I knew how to buy and I knew how to hold. I didn't know how to trade. And I refused to believe that we would ever see below $100 again. Well, we did. So, fast forward to today, I started selling on January 1st, 2020, because that was a goal. That was a promise I made to my family. I said, no matter what, on January 1st, 2020, I'm going to take enough out to go ahead and wash away credit card debt. What a shame, honestly, it's a shame, not the price that I sold. It's a shame I couldn't figure out a way to make it happen earlier, and I own that. Now, it's crazy because I paid that off. I paid some stuff off for my wife, and I feel pretty dang good about it. I feel like I can manage things moving forward. I have nothing to complain about. Zero. I know we're going to break all-time high again. I know we are. Penning no black swan. How couldn't we? We're going to accelerate, and things are going to be better than ever. It was important for me to get things square and true on the home front after the last 4 or 5 years of dealing with this self-doubt and worry, but also I have these strong hands, and I want to make this community the best it can be. And I think we're on the right track. We're talking about a crazy invention. This thing is astoundingly rare in the course of human history, in my view. I'll be in a minute. I'll be in there in a minute. No. So anyway, I got stuff I gotta do tonight, and I just want you to know my story about being hacked has caught the attention of MTV producers. I'm the subject of a true crime episode that's going to be airing on February 19th. The true crime series, it's an MTV web-only experience. And my hacker was a part of a ring of hackers, all under 22 years of age. My hacker's name is Joel Ortiz, to the best of my knowledge, along with whatever accomplices. And he's locked away in California for 10 years awaiting federal trial. I just want to let you know that for every bull run and for every bear market, there's a lot of stories being made right now. I'm just one of them. And I'm so happy to be a part of this journey with you guys. And I think the best days are ahead of us. Cheers, hats off, and big hugs from Kansas City.